Welcome to my first ever podcast. I don't know what this is called. I don't care. You'll love it and you'll like it. I'm here with Annie, and we're going to be talking about the new Battle in the Beyond release, which is in beta currently. There's much more features to be added, it seems, and I'm excited for that. Do you want to go ahead and get in a 1v1, get your cheeks clapped?
Yeah, man. Let's do it. You
Okay.
want to do a private battle so that no one else randomly hops into it?
Yeah. Okay. Walk me through
Yeah,
this.
sure thing. Yeah, just go ahead and hit the private battle button there, and it'll ask you. We're gonna do a single standard disk battle.
Yes,
Is that what
sir.
you're looking for? All right, then everything's set. So just click search, and you'll have to choose a disk, and then it's gonna give a code. You can put it up on screen there for
There we
me,
go.
and I will just need to put that code in on my side as well. So give me one moment.
Very nice. And it's that easy, boys.
It's that easy. Yep. Yeah. If you just have someone in particular that you want to battle, um, should lock it in here. Yeah. There we go.
All right, let's see what we got here. Are you feeling confident?
Dude, I have been on a horrendous losing streak, so it's my time to shine now. Man, things are going to turn around for me on this battle.
All right, we're about to see. We're about to see. I'll unmute this. Okay,
All right, man. We gonna do it at the same time, or
just go for it. Whatever
okay?
you feel confident doing.
Okay. Well, all right.
Okay.
40 all. That's okay. Let's get something
Ooh,
not German. Okay. All right. I'll
okay.
take a five.
Well,
You,
I need that color so I can walk
you
you
can
like a dog by the end of this, you
you
know?
can live on 5%ers all day long. That's no problem. See, look at
All
that.
right, let's go. Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Here's the money.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. Let's
Oh,
see.
oh, 1296. That's tough with a standard disc. All right, here we go. Here we go. I need probably like 1100 with those accessories. And 242 is
Let's
definitely
go. Let's go. Hey, thank
yikes.
you. Thank you for getting shit
That
on.
was
All right, let's go ahead and get into the AMA, boy.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's take this off. All right, that was fun. That was fun. So one question, the first question I have, and I'll just let you ramble on. I have my own takes, but what is the point? It's all RNG. Why would anyone ever spend their time on this?
Yeah, so look, man. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a huge Beyond player typically, but it is just entertaining. Like, and I think there's three reasons that I think this is the case. The first is the art is so good, and like these characters, to see the unveil actually going on live, like it's already good in like a single player opening experience on Illuvium. But when you have someone else there and you're both sitting there waiting with the anticipation, like the psychology of it is absolutely amazing. Like you want to see what you got, and then the other person has an equal chance of getting something really powerful. It's pure random, right? But it's the same reason that people like to stay in a casino, or they want to go out and kids like opening presents. It's the anticipation of what's inside. Like 100%, this is a key element. The second one is that it's community. And I can't tell you the number of times that I've just been scrolling through in Discord, and someone's like, "Hey, someone come in here and battle me. Like, I need another person to do this with." This is the first time, if you think about it, this is the first time that as the Illuvium community, we've had a game that you can play with multiple people. Everything else is single player. Zero, Arena, Overworld, you don't get to play with anybody else in any of the game modes currently. Now, we know that PvP is coming for Arena, but right now this is the first time that you can actually compete with anyone else in the ecosystem. So I think that's the second point. The third one is the competition, even though it is RNG dependent, like head to head battles, it doesn't matter what you're doing. Like you absolutely feel connected because you know that these characters are yours. Right. So when you open a disc and you get that Illuvitar, like this is mine, it feels soul crushing if my Illuvatars that I have that are coming into my wallet are worse than yours. And I'll point to just like the kickoff streams, like TSG was wrecked when he realized that he lost that Ramfy. Like this happens all the time, but you have this pride of ownership in your stuff, even though yeah, it's totally random, right? I get that, but like it's still yours, and you don't want your stuff to lose to somebody else that you're playing against.
Yeah, no. So like I played it and it was like I enjoyed it, but it's like I'm thinking, is this one of those things where it's like a nice novelty thing and then it dies for everybody? So how does this scale? How do you make it more interesting in the future? And are there plans to reduce RNG and incorporating some sort of strategy? And you don't have to go super into detail because I'm sure you guys want to keep that under lock and key, but like what would be like a general sense of accomplishing that?
Yeah, 100%. So, look, I don't expect people are going to sit out here for like. I hope people aren't going to sit out for like 20 hours a day, just like spamming discs. I mean, look, I love the platform, and if you want to crank through, 500 discs, go ahead. But like, this isn't the same amount of time that you're going to be spending in Overworld. I don't expect. That said, like, if you're going to be opening discs anyways. Like if you're going to be playing in Illuvium Beyond, why the hell would you not want a better experience? And it's just that, like you can just get a better experience for free. Come open your discs with us. Yes, like leaderboards are great. Like there's additional rewards. That's all fun. But like it's just a better experience to play with other people. And so to your point, there's a few key items that I think need to be there to make sure that it's more than just kind of a one-off novelty, right? So the first is a community. We need to continue to strengthen that. So being able to play with other people matters. Being able to play and talk with other people at the same time matters even more. And so chat functionality where you can be in a battle and you can be talking with the other person. You can have spectators coming in and shit talking you and like all of that. That's a huge part of the culture that we want to create in Eth Lizards and in Illuvium is like this idea that community is and togetherness matters. This is a key part of Web3. And so I think that's a really critical feature that we're going to be building in is that community, the ability to spam emojis back and forth at people, to add it chat where you don't have to find somebody in Discord and be like, oh, I'm going to talk to you over here. I can talk to you directly in the platform. We think that matters a lot. In the same vein, our first, let's call it major new game mode is going to be tournament mode. And so in that case, say you've got a guild or a group of 15 or 40 people or 50 people or whatever, you want to have a massive tournament with each other. Right now you can do that in the platform through the feature that we just saw with like private battles, but someone's got to go through and like do matchups and build a bracket and all that stuff. Like
Hmm.
we'll do that and take care of those needs on the platform. And then look, if you want to throw in some ETH and say, hey, everyone's going to put $10 in to run this tournament, like now you've got a multiplayer, more than just two-person experience that you can build out for your community. So that's a critical point. I'll pause there for a second and get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. The community is the most important part. And one thing I didn't think about that is like genius, and now I'm like, okay, of course. Why not? The Illuvatars in general are like a single player experience. You can bring more people in. It was objectively more fun when I was opening it with other people. Like
Mhm.
I bought one alpha mega disc. Illuvatars aren't my thing. They
Sure.
just aren't. Talking shit is my thing,
Yes.
especially if I win and I didn't have to earn it. That's even better. But
Exactly.
but something I wanted to bring up now is you kind of led into it about the ETH, the gambling side. Illuvium Labs famously has been having trouble setting up what they call the Leviathan Arena due to some kind of concerns for gambling. How does ETH Lizards overcome this as far as ether staking goes? Because for me personally, I see the major use case, and I don't think this is disrespectful, but like the major use case I can see logically in my brain is gambling. Like
Mhm.
I think it would be perfect for me. I would enjoy it. Well, how do you guys overcome that hurdle?
Sure. Yeah, there's two key pieces here, and totally like from the Illuvium standpoint, you and I are both council members this epoch in the Illuvium councils. One important point for Illuvium as a studio is making sure that the brand positioning is where it needs to be, and that means it's family friendly, right? So Illuvium is for kids as well. Like I've got an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old. They love the alluvials. Like if I'm in here playing and I'm in the overworld, like my 8-year-old, he'll come in and like crank out some Crimson Waste runs like while I'm watching. So Illuvium as a studio has to make sure that everything that they're putting out is family friendly, targeted for, like age appropriate stuff that works for kids too. Eth Lizards as a brand is much more adult focused, right? So we're an edgier brand by design. Our vibe, the voice of our studio is it's like it's not raw and like totally uncensored, but like it's an adult brand, right? So you're gonna have some foul language in our casts. Not that like I'm just gonna be dropping curse words all over the place, but like
Mhm.
we're okay with that type of more adult humor and content. In fact, if you go and look at our lore book in the platform, the Liz decks, like we've got some adult themes and comments and double entendres and stuff that like really are targeted for like middle aged and like young adults. So
Mhm.
that's part of our brand. So the idea of having like gaming, in this case, what we're talking about is like peer to peer wagering. So we don't intend to ever have anything where it's like you against the house, where like you're wagering on some kind of odds that like I get this thing in a game. Like it's more like Jim Barino versus like Artemis or Blichter or whoever like you're matching up against. Like that's the type of gaming that we're on board with. And with that, we've got to make sure that we're compliant. And so there's regulations. We're in process of finalizing the gaming license that we'll need to be able to offer that. But from a brand positioning standpoint, that's the difference between Eth Lizards and Illuvium, where like it doesn't really fit with Illuvium's profile to offer that. But for Eth Lizards, 100%, right? We started as a group of degen alpha investors in Web3 early stage startup projects, like totally on brand for us. And as long as we get the appropriate regulatory boxes checked, we're comfortable offering those sort of solutions to players. But there are requirements, right? There's discussions about different jurisdictions where there are different restrictions in terms of age and so forth. So we just have to make sure that we're compliant across the board there.
Of course, of course. No, I love that. Like, I'm personally super excited. Like, I don't want to get too much into the gambling, but I'll do it a little bit here and there just for fun and stuff. But yeah, for me, that seems like the main use case. And then I talked about you could use it as like a coin flip, or it's just again a way to engage with the community for Illuvatars. I personally love the idea. Again, I was a little worried about like it being dead like after a while. What is the goal here? Like if you had a few hundred or 1,000 active players just playing like 3, 4, 5 times a day, is that success to you? What do you envision this to become? How big do you want it to be?
Mhm. No, it's a great question, mate. So we certainly expect that you're going to see ebbs and flows over the course of a particular wave, right? So the Illuvium wave corresponds with a season for us, just to be transparent
Okay.
with the language. So our seasons are then in the future going to be roughly, let's say, 3 months ish long, depending on the waves of Illuvium in the future. So we expect that, like at the start, the platform, it's absolutely going to be slammed in the first week as everyone's out there buying new
Mhm.
discs and a new wave. They want to get their position on the leaderboard. So like we know it's going to be very spiky at the start. It will probably die down just like normal disc openings. What we're aiming to do with that is to have specific kind of mini events that are running. And so
Okay.
one piece to make sure that we have certain times every week where people can find a match is we're going to have some content creators that are out streaming, and like there's going to be some set times each week where it's like, okay, if I want to go out and find matches, I can anticipate that people are going to be there at Tuesday at 7 p.m. my time, right? Like whatever that might be. So we want to try and have people group up, especially in the early days where the platform doesn't have as many users. If you assume that like once open beta launches though, and Illuvium now has 10, 20, 50 more X players than they have today, in the future you can expect that in the same type of vein, Illuvium Beyond is going to have
Exactly.
also that kind of commensurate increase in players that want to have cosmetics, they want to get their own avatars. So like basically we are counting on some scaling up factor as just Illuvium progresses as a studio to help with the matchmaking and more people being there in the lobbies.
Awesome. Great answer, actually. I mean, I had thought about that as well. Like the beginning of each wave, there is undoubtedly going to be tons and tons of people using that platform. It runs so smooth. It's so appealing. I love that the animation. I'm not trying to glaze, but I'm just being honest. I love that the animation like develops into the actual battle and the beyond part. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? Like I think that is just genius. You guys did a great job there. And then I have one final question for you.
Yeah, before we jump to this last one, can
Mhm.
I highlight one other point I want to note that I think
Yeah,
is
of
really
course.
relevant for this question on like user engagement over the course of a wave. Are you able to maybe jump back in and do a screen share for one more second? There's one bit that I think most of our community has probably missed or they haven't engaged with as much.
Hmm.
Go back to the homepage. So in the upper left, just click on the Beyond. So the very first time you come to the platform, most people probably skip through it. We totally get that. If you look in the upper right hand corner, there's a picture of a book, and we're gonna change that. But yeah, you can go ahead and click on it. So this is the Lizdex. So the like a lizard codex. This is the Lizard Book of Lore, and one really important piece that I think people are missing. If you click in here and you open this, you'll be able to go through and see. We actually have fantastic lore. We've got an amazing writer. We've got some amazing artists that are in here. So as you know, as our player base starts to look through here, we think that people are going to begin to fall in love with the brand, the storyline, because again, gamers don't care about lore until they care about your experience that you're giving them, right? So our goal was make a good experience, and then as you go through here, you'll actually see in this book why are you battling the beyond in the first place, right? We have our lore directly tied in with Illuvium, and you'll see then why you're battling the beyond. And so in the midpoints and at the ends of each season, you're going to have updates in terms of the lore for what's going on with the battles. And at the end of the season, based on your positions on the leaderboard as a player, you're going to be able to use NFTs to progress the lore within Eth Lizards universe. And so even if like things have slowed down a little bit in the middle of a wave, there's going to be information that may be beneficial or interesting to you along the way during a particular season that you're like, okay, I want to get back out here. Like now I understand what I'm going for. Here's how it fits into the broader work of Eth Lizards as a studio. And imagine this same lore and story arc that's running across a host of other top Web3 game studios. So Battle in the Beyond is not designed as a standalone product. It's designed as one part of a vast experience across all of the top game studios in the sector. Illuvium obviously being the first of those that we've partnered with, but they're definitely not going to be the last.
I love that. What's the floor price of an ETH lizard again?
Hey, not
Interesting.
financial advice, but look, we as a studio, like this is it. We want to be the epicenter of Web3 gaming, and
Hmm.
in order to do that, the best way that we've been able to identify how is we want to get gamers from all of the best studios and all the best games that they're playing into our community, and so. Why don't we build these experiences and gamification items, these tournaments, these different game modes that you can't get in the main games that you're playing, but you're using the same assets, right? You're using the same, you have the same community there. And now you're part of this broader gaming community that goes cross genre, cross title. And yes, you're going to, ideally, we want everyone that's listening to this podcast to come in and play with us, get one of the elemental lizards that are targeted for gamers. Think of it like a battle pass type of mechanic where you can use that to play in all of the space across Eth Lizard's products in the future too.
Awesome. I absolutely love that. And I feel like you kind of just answered my final question, which was, is there anything else that I hadn't asked that you really, because I had seen that book and that is really cool. I didn't want to jump through all of it because I want the people at home to be able to see it. But is there anything else we didn't touch on? Maybe a question that people don't ask as much that you would like to answer?
Sure. So I think the question you mentioned earlier about like RNG, I didn't really highlight some of the other modes. Tournament mode I talked about because I think that's going to be appealing to people. But we're going to have a tactical game mode that we develop as well. It will feel very different than the current platform. So the current platform, very quick, very punchy. Like let me get out here, let me open up these assets. The tactical mode is going to be much more strategic, right? So it will feel like almost a completely different game that you're playing than what we have in the more traditional game mode that we've got in the beta version today. So it's something that we want to make sure we curate that experience very well. You'll have a lot more player agency though to really decide, okay, how do I combine particular Illuvatars that I open in these discs with some accessories in some different ways to be more strategic, to give myself the best chance of winning against my opponent. Right. And so, maybe you'll go back and study your opponent's history and see like how they normally like to combine different things. So it will become a much more cerebral game in that particular game mode for people that are interested in it. But honestly, we think a lot of people are probably still going to gravitate towards the current mode that we have, which is, it doesn't require a lot of thinking, right? You can do all the thinking that you want in Illuvium Zero and like plan your overworld runs to the nth degree and like go absolutely ham on like what is the meta, the best meta compositions for the arena already. Like sometimes you want something that's just simple, like let me come out here, I spend 5 minutes and open some discs, and like it's just going to be fun. I'm gonna get some cool Illuvatars that I love. I'll accessorize those guys and you put some, put them in the albums, and away I go.
Awesome. Yeah, like the fun thing is a huge point. Just like you don't have to take it so serious. It kind of reminds me of like people who hate Web3 are always talking bad about NFTs and like why are you like buying this scam? And I always am thinking to myself like why do they care what I do with my money? If I want a cat with a top hat, I'm going to buy a picture of a cat with a top hat. I enjoy it. Don't tell me what I can and can't buy because I enjoy it. So like we're having fun. Like you're allowed to have fun. Not everything has to be like a super try hard. I am a try hard. Trust me, you're gonna get your ass kicked when PvP
Yeah,
comes out. Not just you will too, but like anybody listening, like you will. But like sometimes you just want to relax and have fun. You know what I mean? And I think Illuvium Beyond embodies that, and I think Battle in the Beyond helps it reach its potential.
hmm yeah, fully agree. And it's always funny to me too. Like there was someone in chat the other day, and they're like, "This is why people hate Web3." Kind of to your point, and I'm like, the part that I think is funny is the concept for this battle. It comes from Counter Strike. Like there is over $500 million every year that goes
Mhm.
through Counter Strike unboxing gameplay, just like we have, except it's a lot worse quality. Right? The assets that we have in Illuvium Beyond are much better quality. It's much more fun to open a disc with 5 assets in it than a single box that has one skin of a knife or a gun in it. Right? Like it's just
Mhm.
immensely better experience. But people would be amazed. Like this is not a Web3 thing. People just like to have cosmetics, right? I want to
Yeah.
have something, and if I can absolutely have this be like a flex, and this particular cosmetic is more my fit from a personality standpoint. When you can customize it like Illuvatars, it's just fun for people. And to your point, as humans, we love collecting stuff. This whether it's seashells or it's one of the examples Kieran gave me in an AMA once was wrenches. Like, I think it was his dad was like, I don't get why, like, you want to collect all this virtual stuff. He's like, don't you have like 500 wrenches in your garage? Like,
Yeah.
you really need all those different wrench sizes? Like,
Exactly.
well, no, but like, oh, so you just like collecting them? Like, why is this any different? Like, there's no more utility from these virtual assets than
Hmm.
the 470th wrench that you own. Like, it's not really helping you do anything different. So we just like it as humans, and I think that's okay. Like, we can let things just be fun sometimes, and that can be enough.
Exactly. 100%. So guys, leave us alone. You don't have to buy the NFTs. We will do it. It doesn't matter. We don't need you. But yeah, that was a great talk. Very insightful. I didn't even have to like. I don't even feel like I did my job. You just did it for me. So I appreciate that. Is there any parting words that you want to give before we wrap it up?
Yeah, no, I appreciate you, Jimbo, man. The community and the content creators, like this is a product is also designed to be really good for content creators. If you want to
Hmm.
go out here and just play with your audience, right? You can go play a different game, give them some discs, and let them
100%.
go battle each other. Like it's just fun. And so as a community, I think that the ethos of Web3 is how can we, as a community, as team members, as council members, all support each other to where the project can be successful overall. And Battle in the Beyond is exactly that. And this is, in my intention, the first of cross project support that Eth Lizards is giving to other studios in a very, very real and tangible way, right? We've always been angel investors and supporters and backers of the top studios in the sector. Now we're going in an entirely another level to actually do development works to help build out these experiences with them. And so my hope is just that everyone in the Illuvium community, in the Eth Lizards community, and in the sector, as as they find Eth Lizards as a studio, like they recognize the intention with which we're building into the space, and they continue to get that same mindset of support for one another for any project that's trying to do something good and interesting and sustainable. So that's the parting thought that I leave with everybody. And again, I appreciate all your support as council member, a creator for Illuvium, and as a studio. We couldn't do anything that we do without you guys.
Awesome. Appreciate that. And yeah, again, like you genuinely made me enjoy Illuvium Beyond a little bit more. So I think job accomplished and much more work to be done, but for now it was is really fun. Um, thank you guys for watching, and I love you guys. Make sure you let us know what you think about Battle in the Beyond. If you say anything mean, I'm gonna find where you live. See you guys. Bye bye.
Awesome. Thanks, Jimbo.